Abdelrazik. He is a Sudanese-born Canadian, Sudanese-born Canadian citizen, wrongfully accused of having ties to al-Qaeda in 2003. He was cleared of all charges following multiple investigations by the Sudanese government, CSIS, and RCMP. However, he was banned from returning to Canada for a prolonged period of time since he remained on the United Nations terrorist no-fly list. Canada refused to grant him travel papers and otherwise blocked his return home in Montreal, even after he managed to find an airline willing to transport him. And despite the fact that the UN blacklist explicitly allows him to return home to his country of citizenship. All right, and thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Abdelrazik. If we could all give him a warm round of applause.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. And thank you for the people who organized this event. Like usual, in my speaking tour, I start with some explanation about the security agencies in Arabic states, African states, and Muslim states. But I guess tonight, maybe I don't need to start with that way, because so many people in this hall now, maybe they hear, or some of them they practice the mistreatment of those agencies down there. My story, it is long one. It is 12 years story with CSIS. 1997, some friend of mine in Montreal, they came to me and said, the Canadian Mukhabarat asked about him, which is CSIS. Just when they said that, the same fear, because I had experience with my Mukhabarat in Sudan before I came to Canada, the same feeling, the same sense came to me at that moment. My friend said, Mukhabarat of Canada asked about me. Between 1997 and 2003, the year I went to Sudan, CSIS harassed me bad, and my family, and the family of my wife too. The first time I met with CSIS in Dar in year 2000, when two agents of CSIS came to my apartment. From the beginning, they started the mistreatment. This is the first time I met with them. They went in the back of the apartment instead to come in the right door. And when I went with them outside, just it came to my mind, maybe these people, they're going to bring me to the jail or to the office just to speak to me. But when I went outside, they introduced themselves to me in Arabic. One, Mukhabarat of Canada. We want to talk to you 15 minutes. They used the Mukhabarat, the in Arabic one. Because these people, later I found out why they used the Arabic one, because they have full knowledge about the Mukhabarat and their treatment for all citizens. Me, I asked them, after they introduced themselves as Mukhabarat, and they asked me just to go to the cabinet to speak to me. Me, I say, did you have a translation to speak to me? there is no answer for my question, and immediately I refuse to go with them. I'm afraid. There is a fear in my side, but I use just a small right that supposed to have authorization to speak to me and to me. I refused to go with them, and they left. Actually, there is so many details in the story, but because the time is limited, I'm going to jump on so many details. In the evening of September 11, again they came to me and they asked me, Abdelrazik, who did this in the United States? I said, I don't know. Then they asked me if I know somebody plan to do the same thing in Canada. I said to them, I'm Canadian citizen. My children live in this city, my neighbors, and my friend too. If I know somebody plan to do the same thing, I don't know you. Don't be hesitant, I will call the police for that person. But they still, these people they asked me to go with them to talk. As usual, I refused. They went further than that. They started to bother my wife. One time they went further than that. They went to her father in his job and asked him to convince his daughter to cooperate with them. And one time, my wife, she told me that her father called her for lunch in the east of Montreal. And when she went there, she filed with him 2 CSIS agents. And when she joined them that lunch, they started to talk to her and said, Joanne, look, this man is not a Canadian, you are a Canadian, this is your country. Help us to protect our country from this kind of people. Then they said to her, Joanne, we know that you are sick with the cancer. If you want a better treatment in the United States, we can do that. We know that your credit is not good. We can fix it for you. You want money? We will pay you money. Just give information about your husband. My wife, she said to them, please leave me alone, don't bother me, I'm a sick woman. And if you have something against this man, why don't you bring him to the court? And she left. They went further than that. They bothered her sister and her mother. My wife in 2002, she was in the hospital. She was dying. 2 CSIS agents, they went to the hospital and seeking the same information. I don't know what kind of information they're seeking from her. When they went to her in the hospital, she said, if you don't leave, I will call the security in the hospital, and I told them about it. They left. It's less than 2 months. My wife, she passed away. Later on, I received news from Sudan. My mother, she was sick with a heart problem. Now, like I told you before, since September 11, CSIS harassed me in harmful, where I've been, I find CSIS like my children. Their cars follow me everywhere. Sometimes, in the midnight, I see the car back in front of the building. And between 1997 and 2003, I applied for many jobs, just I have been refused without any good reasons.